The Mi TV4. We've been getting so many requests for the review, but things just kept happening. MWC, the Galaxy S9 launch, but finally, here we are today, thanks to a unit that was supposed to be shipped to us that got delayed. Well, I found the time to actually review this, put together the script, the Mi TV4's review. But before we get to it, if this is your first time here or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4E Tech, and here's a card to our latest giveaway. I'll also leave a link in the description below, and while you're down there, make sure you hit that bell icon to turn on notifications, become part of a notification squad. Let's now get the Mi TV4 review. So let's start with how this TV is built. I for one love the looks. This is a 55-inch TV, but it's got very slim bezels on three sides. The top part of the TV is super slim, coming in at just 4.9mm. That's slimmer than every other phone out there, almost. And of course, the bottom part is thicker. At its thickest, it's 48mm. But the TV still does look very sleek. It is also not too difficult to move if you need to. Even with the stand, it weighs in at just 17.8 kilograms. So overall, from a look standpoint, this is awesome. That's it, let's talk I/O. On one side, we have the usual audio-video ports, one optical port, one for antenna, and an Ethernet jack. Now, if you don't want to physically connect an Ethernet cable to your TV, you do get built-in 2.4 and 5 GHz Wi-Fi options. Talking about wireless, Xiaomi's also added support for Bluetooth 4.0. Now to the other side, we get 3 HDMI ports and 2 USB ports. One is USB 2.0, another is 3.0. There are 2 8-watt speakers here and they sound quite good. These days we rarely see any TV with exceptional audio. It's kind of the same here, despite the support for Dolby Audio and DTS. Now don't get me wrong, it's not bad. Now if you have reasonable expectations, it is going to surprise you pleasantly. Like for example, I had no issues with catching dialogue or listening to music on this TV. Basically what I'm trying to say is, it is perfectly functional, but don't expect it to replace a soundbar. Now let's talk about the star of the show. That display. This is a 55-inch 4K HDR panel from Samsung. It's got side LEDs, but we've not noticed any light bleeding. Its color reproduction is quite excellent, punchy with great contrast. The viewing angle's excellent. There's a bit of a color shift at the extremes, but that is kind of to be expected from any TV. Even my View or LG, which are priced much higher than this, exhibit similar color shifts, so that's not really a negative. So on the panel front, Xiaomi's done a wonderful job. If there's one thing I dislike about the TV, it's gotta be that remote. I really wanna know whose brilliant idea it was to put the home key to the left. I mean, aren't we all used to the home key at the center? No matter what device we use, even with remote controls, with Android TV, with a Fire TV stick, Nvidia Shield, everything's got the home key to the center. Samsung and Google disagree on a lot of things. Home keys to the center. Apple does a lot of things different. Home keys to the center. Amazon doesn't let the YouTube app live on Fire TV. You can sideload it, but yeah, home keys at the center. But here it is not, and that took quite a bit of getting used to. Even after a while, I still don't really feel comfortable with it. Maybe that's because I constantly use the other devices that I mentioned. So if it's your main TV, you probably won't have an issue and will get used to it eventually. And this is where I'd usually wrap up the review, since I don't really care much for smart interfaces on TVs, because till a year or so back they were just gimmicks, stuff you'd never use, too slow to do anything with. I mean, old LG TVs wouldn't even give you Wi-Fi. They'd make you pay like 4,000 rupees extra for a Wi-Fi dongle, which if it wasn't kind of proprietary would cost you 150 rupees. But these days it's not too bad. Patch wall on the Mi TV, it's just that, it's not too bad. It's powered by a quad-core RAM logic processor that has been coupled with 2 gigs of RAM, and there's 8 gigs of storage. Very little is usable, but still, it's basically slim pickings. That said, Xiaomi has optimized the interface to, you know what, Sundar did spend most time with Patchwall, so here's what he had to say about it.
Patchwall interface. This is Xiaomi's content aggregation platform, and it's the interface you're greeted with every time you switch the TV on. You have a lot of content to choose from, ranging from movies and music to sports and even kids channels. If you ever sit down in front of the TV and feel too lazy to surf through all the channels to figure out something that you'd like to watch, you can just tap through Patchwall and choose whatever catches your fancy. And once you do choose one, Click on it, and even if it's on a TV channel, the Mi TV is smart enough to directly switch to your set-top box. After you go through some initial setup which needs the included IR blaster, you can even control the setup or T2H box using just the Mi remote. Neat. I guess I'm gonna have to end up becoming a couch potato now. In fact, if you're really lazy like me and can't even be bothered to go up, fetch a USB stick and then install an app, you can simply resort to screen mirroring. Games like Twisty Roads are so much better when viewed on a larger screen, and with the Miracast connection, I didn't even feel that huge an input delay.
Now that said, the response time might not be optimal for competitive gaming, but for most titles, especially ones like Horizon Zero Dawn on my PS4 Pro, which takes advantage of the resolution and HDR, they lived and played great. Even at 1080p, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch was super awesome on this TV. So talking about gaming, you can run some natively, and Xiaomi's own Bluetooth controller worked flawlessly. Most Bluetooth controllers should work here. Some sideloaded apps wouldn't work with a remote or even a controller and needed a wireless keyboard and mouse. YouTube worked flawlessly though. For some reason, the resolution was capped at 1080p. I guess this is something Xiaomi'd have to fix. But if you did want to consume 4K content, you can do it via USB. Most popular formats are supported, so if you have some TV shows or movies you want to watch, get your flash drives out. This TV is not going to have any issues with it. So, what do we have here? A TV that looks amazing, has an excellent panel, an interface that's pretty rough but promising. I mean, if you did hate the interface, you could always pick up a Fire TV Stick or any other device and use that for the interface. Oh yeah, that's something I loved. You can set the TV to jump into an HDMI option at boot. So if you dislike patch wall, you can have something like a Fire TV Stick plugged in and never see patch wall at all. So anyway, long story short, this is all you get for 40,000 rupees. And going by the latest exchange rates, here's a fun fact. It works out to be 1,000 rupees cheaper than the asking price in China. Its closest competition from other brands are at least 20 to 30% more expensive. So Xiaomi seems to have nailed everything with this launch, but yeah, there's a big but. Flash sales. That's probably the biggest negative for the TV. And now I understand why Xiaomi needs to have flash sales, but that doesn't make it any easier on the end consumer. Having to keep trying week after week while seeing the same products being sold at a markup in the market is pretty difficult. Xiaomi seems to be aware and are trying to take measures to keep the black market sales under check, but how effective will these measures be? Only time will tell. For now, you need to have a lot of patience to be able to buy one of these TVs, and that's probably the biggest con. So there you have it, the pros, the cons. Our first TV review on C4E Tech. 6 years, almost 2,000 videos, and this is the first time we've done a TV review. So how did you like it? Do you feel, give us inputs. Do you feel you should have done something different? Let us know all about that in the comments below. And if you hated the video, you know what to do. But if you did like it, if you want to see more TV coverage on C4E Tech, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to turn on notifications. So now I guess it's time for me to bid you adieu. My name's Ash, you've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off. You guys have a great day. Or if you're watching it later, goodbye and good night.